The Richelieu, and I'll probably pronounce it the Richelieu because it just rolls off the tongue better that way. But anyway, the whole red itself, I had to go back in. I got it all painted. I had to go back in and sand down a few places. I had little runs, which no big deal. That's just because I had the paint really, really thin and I had the airbrush up real close to it. But I got it all sanded down. I got it all retouched up. There will be a seam along right here. I didn't sand it. I usually never do on boats because it's going to be upside down anyway, so you won't see it. But the original owner who had this before I got it, they painted it with, I call it Tester's spray paint. Do I even have any? Probably not. Tester's spray paint in the rattle can. It wants to, it's not the best, I think, spray paint. I mean, it looks good in some places and other places it doesn't. But anyway, I got the whole red on. And what I did after I got it sanded and I shot another coat on there, I took some Future and airbrushed one slight, just a quick coat on it just to seal everything. And then I'm going to do it one more time. I'm going to let it sit for a couple days. That way it'll be dry and then I can go and mask off the water line, and that way paint won't peel off and all that. And I use Tamiya tape when I do holes like this. It's just easier to mask off. And then I'm going to put the just for example, the light gray here, I'm going to put down that first, and that should be this color here, the blue gray pale. So we will tackle that probably next week. At least get the major, because most of that's the light gray. Get that taken care of, and then we can basically got to paint, seal it, and then paint again, and then mask and paint, and all that. So we should be good to go next week on painting the Richelieu. The Rat, but first I bought this about 2 years ago, 5-minute epoxy, and that's the bigger bottle. Now they're getting like real small, but anyway, I want to show everyone this. I have never thought epoxy, a 5-minute epoxy can go bad, and I stuck that in there, and it should be, I mean, it's like super thick. You can't even pour it out of the bottle. It's nuts. I've never seen epoxy do that before, and I had it tied on there and everything, so I got to get rid of that and get me some fresh, I guess. That just absolutely blew my mind. I mean, I've had the little epoxy where it goes in the little container where you squeeze like a syringe. I've had that stuff good for years. That absolutely just blew my mind. But anyway, enough on that. The Rat, what I've done so far and is the turret. I got it painted a red brown, or I like to what's the Germans call it, the Ratte brown. So basically the same thing as the Vallejo here, which I use that, and that's basically the same color. It didn't change anything. I was going to do some like highlights just in case it was just a different shade, but I got the red brown on. I'm going to let that dry today, and then next week I'm going to go in and of course do some shading. It's going to be a camo body and a red turret, so we'll get that, get some weathering on that in due time. I got the little turrets painted. I forgot I had to take it off because I had to get the base coat painted along the, because when you turn the turrets you can see where the turrets hid the paint, so I had to get that accomplished. Still got to paint the little mouses there, which I'm going to do I call it tiger yellow, and then I'll do a little camel pattern on there with the olive grun color. But anyway, so the camo pattern, I don't actually match it, curve for curve. I get a little bit of artistic license where I can, get the gist of it on there, not the pinpoint, accurate, followed by the number pattern. But anyway, I got olive grun, which is this, which is going to be my favorite green. I'm almost out too. I think that's a excellent German green. But anyway, got that, just a random pattern on here. I tried to follow the best I could a little bit, but I kind of deviated a little bit here and there. I got to go back in. I went sprayed a little too hard. You can see where it pulled up. Of course, I'm trying to get as much life out of that as I can, because I actually thinned it, what's left of it. So I'm going to go back in and try to fill in a little bit more, and then whatever I don't get, I'll just go in and weather it, and you won't notice that at all. But I got that all painted. My next paint on the agenda is I'm going to put the white down. When I say white, that's actually this Dunkelgelb, whatever, MiG 012. I have no idea what it is. I had to buy it because I didn't have it. And I probably have it, but it's probably a different shade, so I'm going to get that on there. And then the black, which is very fine throughout. And we'll do that probably next weekend. So that's what I'm trying to plan on doing. But anyway, it is taking shape. So that's what I've got going on today. The Richelieu, we're going to get it, I'm going to put one more coat of Future on there, get that a little bit shiny. Now the whole red will probably be a little darker than, you know, for example, if you ever see ships, I got that, you know, bright red. Again, I don't know if that's 100% accurate, but we're going to go with this whole red, and then once you get the colors on there, it'll make the red, you know, stand out just a little bit more with the other colors. So we're getting the Richelieu painted. We're starting the camo pattern on the second rat, and my damn 5-minute epoxy dried up. So that's what I've got going on today, so stay tuned for the next exciting episode.